Have made it into the NFL playoffs for the first time in 18 long years.
Going deep, and he's got Braylon Edwards. Oh, he dropped the ball. An NFL high 12th dropped pass.
You suck, you jackass.
Colin Sexton as the Cavs' last 17 points, looking for 20. Oh, my!
You're tuning into the We Like Sports Podcast with Austin, Keith, Payton, and Riggs. Make sure to stay tuned for your latest sports news on the We Like Sports Podcast.
My nose. I don't want to play no more.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
Welcome to the We Like Sports Podcast with your host, Keith, special guest, Payton Vince. Did the hiccup come with the name, or did you just put that in post-production?
No. Post-production. Look at you talking media stuff.
See, I know a thing
so
or two.
That's so cute.
Yeah, you know what else was
cute? You wore your child's hat, and your head is running off. Like, what is happening?
So if I take
you asked
this
for
off,
my pants earlier.
I don't have shorts. I don't have pockets in my shorts.
You don't have pockets in your shorts.
No pockets in my shorts, and my wallet is currently off screen in a chair.
Definitely seems like a you problem.
Yes, so can I borrow your pants?
No.
All right.
Where's Riggs?
Riggs is too busy. So here's the thing.
Where's Austin?
Austin, he's bartending. Like, the curfew got lifted, which means he could stay out later, which means he could bartend later.
That's so cool. I'm so glad our government allows us to do things.
I know. It's so crazy that you had to say allow and that he couldn't just do it on his own and work.
Right?
Man, don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Oh,
Speaking
no.
of rabbit holes, there was a mouse on you earlier, right? It's on my TikTok.
I was going to throw your phone away.
Throw your own phone.
I'm not going to throw my own phone.
All right.
My phone wasn't stupid. You're stupid.
So, as you said, me trying to, talk post-production media stuff and whatnot.
That's cute.
Speaking of cute, was your attempt playing softball? I think you hit a couple of pop flies on Sunday. You and Tyler joined.
I went 2 for 4.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Do we talk about the fact that the one that actually plays softball foul-tipped it twice?
Did you?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, good thing.
I know I hurt my hand really bad.
Yeah?
Dude, it was bad.
Well, I slid into you when you were playing first base, and usually I don't slide
But
if
I
I don't
tagged
have
it.
pants. Yeah, you got me
Got
out,
you.
and now I have a scab. I got a boo-boo on my knee.
Please don't ever say that again.
I got a boo on my knee.
There you go. Joseph Bish. Do you know a Joseph Bish?
Yeah, I played softball with him, ironically enough.
Joseph Bish.
He said,
He said, hey, fellas.
hey, Joseph
Joseph
Bish.
Bish. What a good name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Honestly, and the sad part is, Joseph, or Joe, I don't even know what you like being called. I played softball with you one time, so I'm just going to take a guess here and call you Joey.
so you went from Joe to Joseph to Joey.
But anyways, the main attraction of the show isn't even here right now. I think I have to
Who?
pick him up from the airport.
No, don't pull that crap again. You're not picking anybody up from the airport.
But he's waiting on Stephen R. Smith because he wants to find out more about this Amazon app.
The Amazon app never even went live.
No, it's not even Amazon Live.
And
Amazon Prime
He
Live.
said he likes to be called Joe, so
All right,
you
there we go.
butchered that up and you screwed that all to hell.
My bad, Joe. But he's here to watch Stephen R. Smith. But Stephen R. Smith isn't even here right now.
It's
And
because nobody in the damn show could be on time for 2 times in a row.
hey,
We're different.
we're built differently.
I don't know about built differently, but
Well, I mean, you're a little bit more scrawnier than
definitely
me.
the opposite color of what he is.
What?
Riggs.
Who?
Me. Us.
What?
We're white.
You're what?
White.
You can't say that.
Can't say I'm white? The hell I can't.
I don't even. I almost brought something up, but then that goes into politics, and then politics goes into a rabbit hole, and
The
it
hell
goes
you mean
down.
you can't say you're white?
And no, because then it goes down to Keith yelling about Mike DeWine and how he should open things up, and somehow we're going to talk about the stimulus checks that Joe Biden still owes me as $1,400. See, bad idea. Just domino.
I
effects.
like President Joe Biden.
That sounded like you had a stroke halfway through that sentence.
No, he's a good president. He
Again,
doesn't know he's the president, but he's a good president.
at least he's trying.
He is, absolutely. As soon as he's done with his coloring pages, he goes into the Oval Office. No, he's a great president. I thought he was fantastic. So much better than the guy that brought peace to North Korea, pretty much solved all the crap in the Middle East, but what he's doing with your $1,400 is well worth it.
Listen, Trump would have done the same thing. Again, don't want to get down the rabbit hole of politics,
Why not?
but if we're going to go down that road, could we talk about Joe Biden and his gas prices? I miss Trump and his dollar gas prices back about this year.
No!
Also, fun fact, I've known you for about a little bit over a year now because we did the show about 2 weeks ago, a year ago.
That's a shame.
And that's when Riggs discussed that he has pee on his forehead when he went to the bathroom at a Monday Night Raw show.
Tyler, as our producer, has to figure out what to do with this area here because it is bad. So, producer man, figure that out.
Hey, he's trying.
I'm not saying he's not trying. I just don't like it.
Man, he's gone Hollywood.
Who?
You.
No, I mean, his job is to make that not happen.
Well, I'm trying to help him out here. So therefore, for the rest of the show, I'm just going to chill out and just talk like this. And we're going to look eye to eye. And I'm just going to be nonchalant because I don't want our producer to look bad like certain other stations.
Tyler could literally do nothing.
Your iWatch went off.
I know, but Tyler could literally sit back here with a sign that says "Not Redline Radio" and it would be fine. I'm just saying, like, it's not.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not trying to be that guy,
But it's okay. Like, can we actually put that up there?
not Redline Radio.
Yeah.
Anybody who's looked at this has seen it's not Redline Radio. The only thing is, you leaning like that fixed it.
See, I'm a production expert. So I can do that again.
It's the white background. Change the background. Put it somewhere else.
Put it somewhere else.
Put it somewhere. You want to know? Put me in a living room. I want to be in a living room.
Today?
No.
Can we do it after break at least?
Why?
I want to talk sports.
So talk sport. You're not doing it. He is.
I can't multitask.
You can't. I know. You can't really dress yourself either.
I try my best every morning. I just so
Not good.
happen to put shorts on without pockets.
It's not good.
Yeah, I know it's not good. We went through this. Make sure it's in a mansion too, Tyler, because I want to be in a mansion. I want to be just like Keith Migra, Hillis, Tift. How many mansions have you been in
that's like,
since I've known you?
So are you like
jealous?
Payton,
Yes.
Are you like Payton Vince Migra?
Well, I mean, like, I kind of know you, so I kind of have to take your last name.
That's not how that works.
See, I haven't been married, thankfully, so...
Marriage is fun. It's great. I put marriage in the same category as I do voting for Joe Biden. It makes everything better.
Oh, man.
I'm going to drink my Coke. Not a sponsor.
Is it Coke Zero?
Nope, just Coke.
Oh, man. Yeah, so anyways, getting married, man. What was it
I
like?
thought we were talking sports.
What's being married? Like, how
I want
is
you to
it?
take your balls, put them on the table.
I can't do that right now. We're
Somebody
live.
grab the thickest history book you can find, and then just beat it constantly, and then pay to have that happen.
So you're telling me to beat my balls?
Yes.
I don't think that's... Don't do that at home, guys. Please don't beat your balls. What you should do instead
No, wait a minute. Time
is
out.
shave your balls.
Yeah, that's fine. These are like the little like
Engine
coffee
that could?
is hot thing. What? Engine that could?
Little engine that could.
How does that even fit into what we're talking about?
I don't do... We haven't even talked sports yet, and we're 15 minutes in. 9, actually, but... Go on, though. Little engine or little coffee beans.
You don't have to tell people at home not to beat their balls, because if somebody at home is going to go, oh, he said marriage is like that, I'm going to go try it.
Let me
They
experience
deserve
it.
Yeah, no, they deserve to have their balls smashed in.
Oh, man.
I'm so tired of having to have like these like warning labels, like don't eat bottle.
Let me see it.
Like it just makes sense.
Hold on. It says... Hold on. Let me see the warnings.
I don't think there is warnings on that.
No, it has 0 calories. It says no sugar or calories.
That is friggin' beautiful. We are in an awesome house. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Honestly, why aren't we watching TV right now?
Because we're supposed to be doing a show that probably no one is going to watch.
But they're telling you to please recycle Coke.
I'm not recycling anything.
What's up, Dad? You want to ask a stupid question? Do it now.
Did you say what's up, what?
What's up, Dad? My dad
You
commented.
said you didn't have a dad. He's right there.
I know. I literally just said, what's up, Dad? That's like the opposite of Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc?
He said, hey, Peyton, gotta ask probably a dumb question, but where are you taking this? I'm just curious. Even your dad's trying to figure out what the hell you're saying.
Honestly, not sports. I want to try to talk about Friends for about 2 hours, but I don't even know how you and Matt do it.
Still get more views than this show does.
You're right, but that's also because we have Stephen R. Smith, and you have a guy like him lie about an Amazon app, and everybody's waiting to download this said app. Amazon Prime, Fun Words with Stephen R. Smith, to Wordplay with Stephen R. Smith, to the name changed every time.
The name did change every time.
But, man, I guess we should talk about sports. Does that sound like a good idea at times?
I don't know. Just speak if you gotta speak.
What am I, a dog?
Well,
Remember when I let your dog out? This is a year reminiscent.
are we like, what are we talking about?
Because the whole entire point I was trying to make before was that we've been together as a group when we have the full group for a year. Because
we never had the full group.
we did once upon a time when everything got shut down, nobody could live, and everybody had to watch our dumbasses talk sports.
Right.
That's me.
That is you. I just want to see what our broadcast views are.
Probably like 2. But
We're
anyways,
at 134. By this time, I'm already at like 600.
calm down, man.
Come on, do something. Let's bring Tifton. You want to just take the whole show? This is ridiculous. This is dumb.
But anyways, I've known you for about like a year. We had the shutdown happen this week specifically. It was March 12th that everything ended up kind of going haywire, and Rudy Gobert decided to touch all the voice recorders and whatnot because he thought it was funny, and then next thing you know, coronavirus shut down the world. So, yeah, so that's been about a year. We ended up doing the podcast in your basement at one point. Still better than some other shows. But anyways, excuse my hiccup. I let out your dog one time on accident. Remember that?
Yeah, remember? It pissed me off. I don't know why we're talking about this.
Because it kind of compares to the next topic. Things that don't belong outside. Josh Gordon. Honestly, that was supposed to be a segue.
What do you mean he doesn't belong outside? He's a human being.
It was just going to the segue, the actual sports.
Well, make a damn segue then. Don't just say some off-the-wall shit.
All right, so anyways, Josh Gordon ended up playing fan-controlled football.
He was great. Did you see that Hail Mary pass he caught?
Yeah, I did.
He did it with a blunt in his mouth and a 40 in his pocket.
You could do that? The fans allowed it?
Well, yeah, yeah, of course it is. It's Gordon.
Do you think that, like, Johnny Manziel had some, like, white powder in his glove?
No,
I'm not talking about, like,
I don't know about his
rosin.
glove, but he probably had it on Josh Gordon's sack and was probably sniffing it off of it.
Jesus Christ.
What?
But anyways, Josh Gordon gave the fan-controlled football a go. And,
How's he doing?
I mean, he caught a touchdown pass to win a game, so, I mean, that's kind of cool, but what does it count for? Like, the fans voted for you to be the receiver, maybe? I feel so bad. Like, I still haven't watched this, to be honest, besides the clips that, like, highlighted, and I feel like talking trash about fan-controlled, like, football, it could be the greatest thing ever.
It's not, though.
But
It's not. It's not. It's just not. There is no... It's not. It's not.
But Josh Gordon and Johnny Manziel are teammates again, and that's so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But here's the point, though, that I want to make about Josh Gordon. Because, I mean, he's a great dude, the guy that had this take. And I just kind of want to get this discussed, though.
Sure.
So Emmett Golden from ESPN ended up saying that he believes that if Josh Gordon ended up keeping his nose clean, his hands clean, all whatever clean, he said that Josh Gordon could have been the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Really?
I don't necessarily agree with that. Even with what you got with when he was around and when he was pretty much a fact.
Yeah, but do you think so people are like saying they feel bad for him and stuff.
Right.
Do they really feel bad for him?
I mean...
Do you feel bad for Gordon? I don't.
No, but...
Riggs wouldn't. Riggs was pissed when they found out the dude couldn't stay off the marijuana.
I mean...
That's weed.
Is it?
Yep.
But the problem with Josh Gordon, I see the potential. Like, I understand why people would say, oh, hey, I kind of understand why Josh Gordon would be the greatest wide receiver in the NFL. Because, I mean, who are some of the greats right now? Like, Calvin Johnson, I think he's in that book easily. After that, who are you looking at? Like, besides, like, in the past, like, in this current time frame, I feel like Josh Gordon could have compared to a Calvin Johnson or maybe an Odell Beckham Jr. if he was even in the same list. But overall, you have Josh Gordon that couldn't stay clean. But when he was on the field, I mean, he had, 2,000 receiving yards one year? And that was before he ended up getting suspended, or else he got suspended 2 games earlier that season and still broke records. It's frustrating that you end up having somebody like Josh Gordon. I feel like it's more frustrating for Cleveland Browns fans because imagine a team if you ended up having Odell Beckham Jr., Josh Gordon, and who else? Oh, Jarvis Landry. Imagine if that would be a thing. And then you add in...
He's not a bad player.
No, it's just he's stupid and couldn't stay on the field.
He's stupid. That's the problem. Is he was an idiot. He couldn't not do drugs. I mean, and again, like it's marijuana, so I don't like.
Is it though? Because
guess,
I feel like you could only like. That's the thing too. Is I'm starting to question if it's only marijuana, just because I feel like by then it'd just be like a smack on your hand and be like, all right, don't do it again. But I mean, marijuana's not supposed to be addicting. Maybe it is for him, who knows? But at the same time, it just seems that like if it was just marijuana, he'd still be in the NFL. I feel like it's something major and like honestly, I mean, he went to fan-controlled football with Johnny Manziel, which is a terrible decision because if you're trying to make yourself better, I don't think this league is going to be like the XFL when you end up going from the XFL to possibly a practice squad or anything associated with the NFL. I don't think that's going to happen. It's fan-controlled football. You're having username XYZ, smell my you-know-what, probably is their username picking out your plays, and it's a 5-year-old that just got his game counsel. Like, it's just upsetting to see that you had potential there with Josh Gordon and with what the team could have been, but you could play this game all the time. What if Greg Little could actually catch a ball?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can play that game but I don't know. I just don't see. I mean, it's weed. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't stop.
Right.
I really don't believe that weed is habit form. I believe that people in their mentality state probably need it. Maybe they've got issues going on that I don't know about, whatever. But it's marijuana. Like, at this point, I don't feel that Josh Gordon should have been treated the way he was. I think he should have been able to stop. I don't know. I have mixed emotions about it. I don't know how I feel about it.
I mean, I feel like it's just him. The thing that's frustrating is Josh Gordon has the ability to still stay in the NFL or maybe even the XFL when that ends up becoming a thing again.
Which it is.
Yeah, exactly. Which it is, and there's news that just came out yesterday, I think.
Yep.
And the thing is that you have this relaunch of a relaunch that had short-term XFL, and that was worth watching. It was something cool to watch after football season was done.
Right.
And Josh Gordon would have a place there, and I feel like he would have a better opportunity to end up playing in the NFL. But instead, he's playing fan-controlled football in which he's going to end up making the video game cover, which just happens to be a kid on the cover picking out a game play with his controller. Like something stupid. They're never going to have a video game. You have the cancer of football, Johnny Manziel, that he goes to a league, he gets shut down.
Yeah.
Look at the AAF or whatever it was called. So it's just, as a Browns fan, I feel the irritation, especially when you have two former Browns players that you have Johnny/Billy Manziel/Billy Madison/Happy Gilmore, whatever he wants to go by whenever he's at the 9 downtown in Cleveland, because that's where he hung out at. Yes, Johnny Manziel, we know your secrets. But anyways, with Josh Gordon, Josh Gordon should know better not to hang out with a guy like Johnny Manziel. If he still wants to be in the NFL and has any hopes and dreams about that,
He'll never go back to the NFL. They're not going to take him. He's messed up too many times.
But we thought that last time with Seattle. He's messed up so many times that he ended up messing up, but he had this one last chance when a lot of people didn't think he'd have this chance, and instead he has it still. So he still had that opportunity, but instead you fast forward and he lost that opportunity for being an idiot while getting his 5th chance after 2 of them ago that was supposed to be his last one.
All right.
I don't understand the concept of Josh Gordon and why he he was selling cars at one point in Cleveland. How does that not humble you?
Because
you went from being a millionaire.
Being humble, I mean, I don't know.
Because I feel like it's like a slap in the face. You're selling cars, obviously you're making commission, and if you're making millions, I'm sure that Josh Gordon was money hungry selling cars. He wanted to sell the most cars. He has the name behind him. Hey, I'm Josh Gordon. Come check me out. Blah, blah, blah. Buy for me. Commission on my check. Get my hourly. Get suspended from the NFL and still get to play maybe 2 years from now. But instead, this could be a guy that the Browns could have marketed around.
Yeah, but marketability, but he can't stay out of trouble.
Exactly. If he stayed clean, stayed off marijuana, you literally had him local as all can be selling cars. And instead, he's playing fan-controlled football. And, I guess to wrap it up, do you honestly think that Josh Gordon could have been one of the best NFL wide receivers if he was clean? No. Or if he was off marijuana?
I don't know, maybe. That's a lot of what-ifs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the marijuana made him not good. That's the problem. I don't think any of that does anything with his ability or his talent. He's just an idiot.
Right.
Is he good? Yeah. Is he top? Maybe.
But
he could have been. But he was smoking weed or eating it or whatever was happening. But it doesn't matter. None of that. There are too many what ifs, and I think the NFL is partly to blame for his downfall.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the Browns. Maybe we are, but at least the NFL needs to take responsibility for what they did to him.
I just don't understand why the Browns organization wants to have these. And it's not going to be worded the right way, but I don't want it to be taken the wrong way either. Mm-hmm. But you take on these charity cases pretty much, like Antonio Callaway that had the same issue as Josh Gordon. You took on Josh Gordon in not the NFL draft, but the supplemental draft. So you knew what the risk versus reward was there. But you learned from Josh Gordon, and then you drafted Antonio Callaway to have him get in trouble. And he's about as short-lived as the Browns' recent success. It's just about 1 year, and then they're on the rise. But Antonio Callaway is barely able to play in the NFL because of stupid mistakes.
Right.
Why is the Browns organization taking on these quote-unquote charity cases? You don't have to fix them up just because, it's like back when Laramie Tunsil from the Dolphins got caught smoking pot in a gas mask or whatever, and his draft stock got dropped so much that you're gonna get them where they fall. But like Antonio Callaway, with what he did, he was initially probably a first rounder, but dropped to the third and could have been later on.
But I think the real discussion that needs to be talked about is marijuana affecting their ability to play the game, and I don't think it is.
No, I don't
really
think so either.
I think that as long as he's not smoking it before the game or whatever.
Or like you said jokingly, if he had like a blunt in the end zone, we'll catch him like a touchdown pass or joint, whatever he's smoking.
I just really don't believe that it's going to affect anything if he's not doing it during the game. And I think that marijuana has been not decriminalized, but it's been more socially acceptable now that I don't think that's even an issue. I really don't. I think that the NFL screwed him over. I think the NFL needs to make rule changes. I think the MLB does.
I think Roger Goodell shouldn't even be the commissioner. You're looking.
Roger Goodell's a punk ass bitch.
There's only two people, or no, there's only honestly one person. I don't even want him as a commissioner throughout the 3 leagues. And honestly, this is probably something to talk about when we get back from break. But when you have guys like Rob Manfred from MLB, I don't want him there. I don't want Roger Goodell in the NFL. Adam Silver I could put up with in the NBA because he's made some changes for the better and he's kind of tried doing things for like a more marketable like approach.
Yeah.
And he's the only one I could actually stand right now. But even at the same time, he's not perfect either. But you got a bunch of idiots that are running the show for all these. Right. And you get Roger Goodell that gets booed any kind of NFL draft, which, by the way, is coming up rather soon, too, which is awkward for a Browns fan because you're not talking about it this time of year because you're not even worried about who they pick, which is amazing.
Right. It puts us in a different situation than we've ever been in.
Right. You're just kind of sitting back, drinking Diet Coke, and you're like, whoever falls to 26 or 25, that's what it is. And maybe we'll get a guy on defense. Maybe we'll get a kicker in the first round because I don't care. We're winning.
Hell yeah.
Obviously don't get a kicker in the first round, Browns. I'm just going to clarify that for you. If you do that, for whatever reason, I'm making fun of Keith, Austin, and Riggs on the podcast if you choose a kicker in the first round.
That's fine. You guys choose a TikToker. So, I mean, we're good. Like, we might want a kicker. You have a TikToker. I'll take a kicker over somebody who wants to be on Dancing with the Stars more than catching the ball.
But, I mean, if we go to Dancing with the Stars, Hines Ward won, and he was a good wide receiver.
He was, but he also cared about it first. He wasn't doing, Dance Dance Revolution on all these other things because he's some kind of a dumb jackass.
But
that's
now
just Juju. Juju's just an idiot.
But now, like as I attempt to defend him, he might not even be with the Steelers next year. Who knows?
You're right. I did hear rumors about stuff.
Yeah, and then you have that going on. You have the Cowboys re-signing Dak Prescott for
a lot,
4 years and front loaded that you get $75 million in your first year, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then off of that, you end up having Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper have issues now too. So there's a lot to talk about today alone, just with the NFL reducing the salary cap.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, Stephen R. Smith is just, I think he's struggling to get to his hotel room. I just got a text message.
What do you say?
He said he's struggling to get to his hotel room.
Oh.
But anyways, though, when we get back from break. Actually, hold on. So, get in the ring today was supposed to be Stephen R. Smith against Payton.
Was.
So, Keith, what's the topic?
Being on time for work.
Okay. 60 seconds on the clock.
Is he in?
Nope. All right, all you have to do is just show up. I want you to show up. I want you to talk sports. I want to be the Get in the Ring champion. Obviously, I understand life happens, but every now and then you end up winning by default. Kind of, for example, what I'm doing right now, because there's no answer on the other side. So, I mean, that's a point, right? Can I see a point really quick?
No, because this is stupid.
But I showed up.
You did, so you won.
Exactly.
Like, you don't even have to do this.
I'm trying to prove a point, though.
But when you forfeit a baseball game, you don't go out on the field and start hitting balls.
No, but you go out on the field, give a wave, and go, hey, thanks for coming. That's what we did here. That was just 30 seconds of me winning.
Thanks for coming.
So your new Get in the Ring champion, once again,
God, it's crazy.
is me.
You need a haircut.
Well, I'm a champ now. I can afford whatever I want.
Your balls. Manscaped. Do that.
SPORTZ. Ball toner, ball shaver, ball deodorant. Riggs might be coming back soon. I think he was deodorizing his balls. Who knows? Don't go anywhere on the We Like Sports podcast. Back after this Talking Sports.
If you're
bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped.
Welcome back to the We Like Sports podcast
with me, your host, and your
Payton,
special guest, Payton.
Special
Vance.
guest Keith Migra, special guest Ryan, special producer Tyler. I don't even run this show.
We know that.
Anyways, during break, we talked about the possibility of fan-controlled baseball.
We didn't talk about that.
But we have some thoughts.
We said nothing about that.
No.
What thoughts can you have on fan-controlled baseball other than the fact that it's stupid as shit?
Ryan had some thoughts.
I have thoughts.
But you can't. There's no way. For someone who literally has the saying, don't piss on my back and tell me it's raining, can have zero thoughts about this.
You said that wrong. You
No,
don't
I
pee on
didn't.
anybody's back. You pee on their leg.
I'm not going to pee on your leg. You wouldn't feel it. Of course I'm going to
Well-
piss on your back so you can feel it. What the fuck?
I definitely would see you doing that, though.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
I'm in a wheelchair. I'm always facing forward. My legs are
Your
in front
back
of me.
is in your back. What the hell do you mean? Oh, it's facing forward. I'd piss on you.
No,
from
we're
the
talking about
back.
pissing on legs, fool, not my back.
No,
That's
I
the
need to pee on
bad
your
part.
back. So you can't feel your legs. You can't see me peeing.
But you can't even piss on my back. Like, you have to piss on my head to get to my back because of the back of my wheelchair.
Actually, that's true. You're so tall. I'd have to get on a step stool. I'd have to try to find the perfect crevice.
Yes.
I just don't think it would work.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But
shut up.
speaking of
I'd get
peeing,
there,
like-
too, if I could.
What?
Dude, you have like a wide target. Like, dude, your forehead is huge.
Just do the forehead, honestly. Speaking of which, Riggs peed on his forehead. Where is Riggs?
I don't know. He said he texted you, and there's no Zoom. There's no anything.
Yeah, where's Riggs? Stephen R. Smith, where are you?
So he is Riggs.
No, this was a two-part question. I was asking where's Riggs, and I'm also asking where's Stephen R.
Did
Smith.
you backpedal so bad? I don't know how you don't go in reverse. Like, you are just awful.
Ryan goes into reverse, I don't.
Ryan doesn't have to go into. Oh, because he's in a wheelchair.
Anyways,
Figure
fan-controlled
that
baseball.
out. Yeah, let's talk about fan-controlled baseball. How would
That's
this
the
work?
goal.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, Ryan and I were pitching some ideas during break.
Oh, I have no idea how it would work. All I know is that there has to be like booze involved. Like there's got to be.
Well,
It's
yeah.
got to be the most outrageous thing on
I feel like
television.
steroids should be allowed.
Of course. Full on.
I feel like you should
HGH,
get every now and
everything.
again, like, you should
Everything.
be able to type
Jose
in
Canseco should be the
Exactly.
owner
No,
of
Barry
the entire
Bonds
league.
and Jose Canseco.
Mark McGuire,
Rafael Palmeiro.
Albert Bell, Jim Toby, and we keep going.
Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez.
We should just have an inning called Manny being Manny, and it's
Alex
Manny doing dumb
Rodriguez.
shit.
That's not even a thing. That's just Manny Ramirez. He opens his eyes and it's a dumb thing.
Man. Do you think, like, in fan-controlled baseball, if you had Manny Ramirez and all these steroid former users and whatnot...
Oh, yeah.
Roger Clemens, too, by the way. He's my pitcher.
Absolutely.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue that goes along with this, is that I'll take Keith as an example. When you're watching baseball, and as much as somebody that loves baseball gets into it, your bullpen's not deep enough.
Right?
It is not deep enough because as soon as something happens, Keith's like, get him out of there.
Pull him.
So, like...
He's
Bring
not
in
wrong.
Brandon Geyer from left field.
That's
He's
exactly
pitching
what I
now.
would do. There would be he'd throw a ball, the first inning. He walks a guy, he's gone.
Yep, get him out.
So, Keith, you have kids, right? Mm-hmm. If you were to coach your kids and your kid was a pitcher, would you give him the same leash you would with these big league players?
Surely, she's my kid. His ass is in the
Why
dugout.
is his name Shirley?
What?
I don't know. That depends on how bad. Like if he's doing real bad, I'll be like, all right, we can't do this.
Oh, no, I'm pulling him. Dude, if my kid
Yeah.
throws one strike, I'm pulling him. What, did I say Shirley? He used a bad airplane reference, but... No, if my kid, let's say, for instance, my kid decides to go and actually do something that's worth a damn other than, playing video games all day and God knows what else he does. So, I'm not that bad of a father now that I think about it. But let's say that he he plays a sport, like an actual sport, a real thing.
Yeah.
Something real.
Like crocheting.
So let's say he does, all of that and he does become a pitcher. He's got a 3-batter rule, man. If there's something happens within that 3 batters and I don't like it, in fact, I'm not even pulling from the game. He's going home.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I
wanted to leave Jordan Luplow at a bus stop. I'll put my kid wherever.
This is why I can't stand, and no offense to the parents that do coach, but if you're the parent that coaches and,
there's always a problem whenever you have like the father-son, father-daughter maybe. I don't know, but I've seen the father-son thing firsthand. But it's like, you got to stop talking about the game after it's over with. Because sometimes, like, if you end up, like, let's say this is real life and you end up pulling your son after the first inning, and then you end up talking about the game on the way home. Meanwhile, he didn't see the rest of the game. Why are you bringing it up? Like, it's already done and over with. It's like, keep the game at the field instead because...
I really wouldn't send him home. I probably wouldn't have the same leash I'd have with a 6-year-old as I would a player who's getting paid $2 million to throw strikes and can't do it, but can chuck it over the center field wall. Who
are you talking about?
Pissy ass bitch Trevor Bauer.
Oh, okay. So, with the fan controlled baseball idea, what other rules could we come up with? Because obviously you want them to juice. That's going to be encouraged.
Jeez. This is already amazing. The thoughts that are rolling through my head, gig it.
Well, me and my friends,
the biggest and just so out there humans out there. You're just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
My friends and I always the solution that we always came up with was with the MLB. People always say the MLB is too boring. It's not enough action. We always said.
The wall should be a breakaway wall. So instead of having to go over it,
right
they just go through it.
I'm all about that. And make it as big as Fenway Park's monster in left field.
Oh yeah.
Just crash through it, have the wall just disintegrate down.
Yes, absolutely.
But my friends and I always talked about having the XFL version of baseball, and you have your steroid users. You have what if all you had to pitch was just fastballs right down the middle? What if that was a rule?
The games, so the people who hate baseball now because it's too long?
No, because there's not enough action. Because
there is a lot of action.
People always complain about your pitcher's duels.
Yeah, but MLB is literally deadening balls now.
Allegedly, yeah.
No, they're gonna.
Oh, they're doing it.
But they were juicing them too.
Right.
So imagine if the players juiced and the balls were juiced.
Everybody's juiced.
That's a lot of juice.
Sounds like a backyard party at Manziel's house.
Look, there's thoughts, but there's a lot. If you did to pull that off to actually make it fan, they pick what's going on to be the manager, it'd be extensive.
But
it'd take a while.
Honestly, I'd be willing to put effort into it.
Why?
Because it's cool. I'm gonna be running my own baseball league.
Well, you get to do it with football.
But I'm not picking the plays. Although they did end up, fun fact, fan-controlled football, they ended up tweeting something out, and it was about a rule change, and then they made you download the freaking app to vote on this rule change.
Well, they're not stupid.
Well, I downloaded the app.
There's a fan-controlled football app?
Yeah, I downloaded the app. This one actually exists on, Amazon Prime Live.
So do they have penalties? I don't...
I think so. But
they gotta have something, right? There's some rules.
Because I think the one rule was about fan-controlled football, and it was something about a specific play that it involved a flag and how much yardage or something it was.
Because so you guys were talking about the Josh Gordon touchdown that they've been playing. In the NFL, that play's over. There's so many fouls.
Oh yeah. Within
that.
I still don't understand. Do I have to pay for this?
No, it's free. I have it.
Have you done it yet?
No, I didn't open the app yet. This is still honestly too. This is how bad my Saturday was. I almost ended up watching fan-controlled football.
Where do they play it?
Twitch.
I think we should all watch it and then see if we can get in so we can call plays because I'll call the stupidest shit.
Honestly, hey, run backwards about 10 yards, shuffle pass, lateral, Hail Mary, all on the same damn play. Do it.
Just take a video of your hand and say, all right, this is what I want you to do. You're going to go here. I'm going to go here. You want to take that? And I want you to go this way. And then we're going to get to this point. And then you got to do a turnaround. I'm going to fake it. And then we're going to lateral it. Yeah, we got to do that.
Honestly, not even the hand thing. You just have a Zoom call, kind of like this one right now. And have a football in your hand and draw plays on the football and record it and send it in just like you did back when you were growing up as a kid.
Yep.
And just be all right, number 11, hook and ladder to the left side. Number 2, go for a streak. quarterback go right side, scramble, but if there's nobody there, go for it, but otherwise stay back in the pocket. We're creating something amazing right now.
Does Vegas have odds on this fan control football?
Probably odds about how long it's going to stay around.
It's not going to be around very much longer.
Exactly. That's why they're not wasting their time on the odds.
Yeah.
But, like, in a world of fan-controlled football, it's just... Here's another thing, too. As we bring up the topic, that was something that we were going to have discussing at one point. But in fan-controlled football this past Saturday, and this was almost what intrigued me to watch, was the fact that there was one team wearing... Hold on, I have it bookmarked on Twitter because I want to get this specifically right. But they
What did I say to you, Keith? I said this is glorified flag football. That's what it looks like.
That's exactly what it is.
So, you had one team that was in, like, purple and blue, and then another team that was in, like, a light blue and a black, and they had almost identical uniforms.
Oh yeah, they looked. When I saw when they were all in the end zone with Josh Gordon, you couldn't tell who was who.
But earlier in that game, a teammate tackled his own teammate.
Who does Menzel play for?
The Zappers.
The what?
The Zappers.
Zappers.
Oh my goodness.
That's also coincidentally his time downtown in Cleveland. Probably was getting zapped.
Oh, then go back to the whole thing when you were talking about Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon had the physical tools and abilities of a top-tier wide receiver. If he would have been clean, there is no reason that he wouldn't have been top 5, top 7 year in and year out.
Well, I mean, even with the year.
But also when you're talking about like talking about charity cases, like how people bring them on.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a front office to be able to have the stability to be able to control something like that. And the Browns do not, at that point in time, for the past till now, have had the front office to be able to handle something like that, to be able to get the best out of him, have the mentors for him instead of just kick him out of the building and not do anything with him.
Right. And
I mean, they drafted Manziel. They drafted him.
well, they
And
also
then they
drafted
drafted him.
Brandon Whedon, too, and he was like 30 by the time he
Yeah,
had
he was 30
his
already.
debut.
She had a kid in elementary school, everything.
Who did?
That's what I'm saying. They say he's old enough. He'd have had a kid in elementary school.
I'm like, hold on a second. Talking about good old Brandon Whedon. Are you watching the draft right now?
I am. I am.
We got the fan-controlled football draft. Keith, who are you going to pick with your first pick?
I'm going to go with M. Franklin.
He sounds like a good player.
He is. It's Franklin. You can't really go wrong with Franklin.
I am intrigued about the XFL and the Canadian Football League merging.
Is that what's going? So like they.
I don't know if it's a merge. They just said they're in talks about something, but everything's pointing to me. It's like we're going old school AFL NFL merger, and you'll have the American League here, and then the Canadian League there, and it's going to come down to like again if I was doing it, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly how I'm merging.
Honestly,
I forgot the Canadian people actually had a football team.
Yeah, speaking of potheads, Ricky Williams played in that league at one point.
Hey, the XFL had it right. They had the Sky Judge, and I still think I hope the NFL does it. Get rid of the damn head officiating that goes back and has to wait for it to come up for them to call it and look and see what's going on. Like when the Browns helmet to helmet, there should be a Sky Judge that is independent in the stadium from everyone else that sees something like that and goes, stop the play. This happened. That's a thing because he can see that happening.
But how much of that, if you have like a Sky Judge in this like example?
Look at the XFL. I'm saying just go watch the XFL games. That Sky Judge was in charge of all that, and it went out without a hitch. And everyone that saw it and everyone that was there said this should be implemented in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean,
if anything, their rules that they were coming up with like kickoffs and shit like that, NFL should really look into all that stuff. You're trying to change some things around. They did the things that everybody was talking about, and they worked.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I pick a play?
I don't know.
You got to take a picture of a piece of paper with some X's and O's on it. Send it to How many people are on the field?
And then at the bottom put Coach Migra -Hillis -Tift.
Because it can't be 11 on 11. So how many? What is it, like 5?
Honestly, man, I think there's like 8. So then it'd be like 3 on the line and then probably like 5 wide receivers or something.
Jesus.
How do you play 8-man football or fan-controlled football? Honestly, I kind of want to get a team together.
Like, we could probably put a team they would have.
I was about to say I don't see how hard it would be. I think we could.
We could have Ryan at center. We could have you as wide receiver. Ryan could be the halfback.
Gotta juice up my chair a little bit.
So, fan-controlled football was founded in 2017, and it wasn't started until this past year.
The only thing is, like, so as much. Oh,
I'm gonna imagine
dude,
they had some
I
hurdles.
did it. I figured out how to do it.
Hold on. Marshawn Lynch owns the Beasts, and Mike Tyson, and Miro, which is a wrestler.
Huh.
I just voted for an onside kick at any point in time during the game, and 51% people want to do it.
See, this is why
ridiculous.
this wouldn't work.
Like,
This is why this is gonna fail.
Absolutely ridiculous.
No, it might not fail because you have to realize that we are a bunch of stupid idiots that want to see something ridiculous like this.
Coach
That's
Jenkins,
why it won't. That's why it won't work.
Or not Jenkins, Coach Jenks. How the hell do you pronounce his crap name?
Coach Jenks.
Coach Jenks. We get
Does
to
it say
pick,
the pants that he's wearing?
Yeah, we get to pick what pants he wears on game day.
How top left? Go with the rainbow colors, man.
No, dude, you got to go Tiger King, right? You got to go.
Only if Joe Exotic is center.
Most.
Oh
definitely.
my God! It's 35% are going Tiger King. I'm winning the vote right now. This is great. I feel like I'm a part of something.
Oh man.
This is the
Keith's already sold.
stupidest thing I've ever seen.
He's
in
sold
my
now.
life.
He's like, this is the stupidest thing ever, but I'm sold. I'm in.
But I'm
in,
gonna keep on voting on an onside kick on first down.
Oh please!
Because I can already see how this goes. Keith's gonna be like, I voted for that. That's what I voted.
I
did that.
I
did
made
that.
them do that.
I made them do that.
Me and 51% of the United States of America voted for that.
But my vote was the one that put it over the top.
There's
Yep.
50% of the United States is not watching this.
What, fan controls football?
Oh, yeah.
So then you got 25%. That's math, right? 50% of 50?
That's how Biden won.
I'm not good at math.
Neither is he.
Oh.
Or any of our electoral colleges.
Never went to college either.
Neither did he.
Oh, man.
His economic policies have saved so many jobs.
Fan
Like
control
fan control football. Look how many jobs. Screw the pipeline. Let's vote on the dude's pants.
What if Biden is like the one that came up with this league?
He would have had to. He doesn't know where he is anyways. He thought he was playing baseball. Came out fan football.
No. He just is voting and thinking that he's playing Uno on his smartphone his grandkids gave to him.
You guys, really, we can vote on the president of Fan Control Football League as many times as we want? I'm going to run for Senate.
Oh, man. So my one friend Cameron said everything about this segment is a beautiful disaster. Kind of like fan-controlled football.
Right. Is that
I
the
mean,
guy
we're-
that said, hey, boys?
It's a real slow sports time right now.
It really is. Like,
The madness hasn't started yet.
and even
Draft's
when it
not
does,
Wow,
I
there's
feel-
no combine.
Well, like, why do you
mean,
care about the combine?
And
You're a
now we're
Browns
just
fan.
watching everybody get like heads coming off because, it was 198 million last year and now it's only 182.
You want to know
I
what's
mean-
weird about all that? You guys are talking football and baseball season started 3 days ago.
Well, technically,
No, not
The NFL
technically,
season
not-
How does
started.
the spit get over to my phone?
Not because your forehead's so damn big, it takes up so much space.
and technically, baseball hasn't started yet either.
Wrong. What
That's
the
just
hell?
spring training. It's just
Wait,
spring
I want to
training.
hear the argument on this. How has it not started?
I mean, it started, but they're just playing.
What
They're just
the
out
hell?
there.
Wait, say that.
They're just out there playing.
The game hasn't started. They're just playing.
No, the game's opening day. That's
the
the
game.
game. That's when it
You
counts.
sound like Scott, just less slurred.
Oh,
I mean, I could change that.
man, like, I understand. Like, it's been.
What did I say today? When I was like, "Oh, the Indians lost." I was like, well, "Okay, which team was it?"
Yeah, it definitely.
The
wasn't.
A team, the B team, or the C team.
Yeah.
Let me know which one it was. They're like, "Oh, it's the C team." I'm like, "Then why do we care?"
Yeah.
All right, you see them about in Arizona in a month from now, and they're
You're
going to
gonna see
be
them in
in
Arizona.
Aldi.
Yeah, I was saying. Oh, yeah, you're not going to see any of those players that played. They're going to be bagging groceries.
You know what though? They tried their best.
And it's probably the ones that we probably should have playing.
Not if we lost.
Well, those teams might be really good C teams.
Unfortunately, no. I'm saying there's probably like one or two guys there that like probably should really like they should bring them up, but because they were fucking off on that team, they're like,
Yeah.
no, scrap it.
They're
Like,
not going to do it.
look at that, like Damian Sheehy Giuseppe. That was the Browns guy that slept outside training camp, got a job, and didn't even have shoes or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. It's full capacity at Rangers Stadium in Texas?
I think it was 40,000, so half.
But, like, we're living in a weird world right now when it comes to half the states.
Don't mark on this, but that's what I heard.
I am not going to be... Oh, my God. I am not going to be on The Masked Singer. You need to tell these people who are tuning in right now that I'm not going to be on The Masked Singer.
Wait, hold on. What's happening?
Wait. What's this?
Just time out, because the people are... Oh, my God. I am not going to be on The Masked Singer. That is not a thing. I have not been contacted by
maybe.
anybody. Oh, my God. I'm really not going to be on The Masked Singer.
I'm going to start cooking this rumor mill.
The only thing is he already cooked it. All these people are tuning in to watch to see if I'm going to be on The Masked Singer, and I'm really not. And they're going to start... Don't retweet that.
Honestly? No,
do not make that trend. Do not make that trend.
Keith. All right, ready?
I'm not
Sing with
gonna be
me.
No.
Sing with
Make
me.
sure you
Stop
add.
it.
Make sure you add the Masked Singer so everybody sees it.
All right, the more
We
you
need
do
to
it,
get some
the more
people that know what it is to
content
know.
It's going down. Cool. Keep by all means. Keep
No,
singing.
they want to know if Keith Meiger 1 is going to be on Masked Singer. You just got a text message
Keith-
from your mother asking if you're going to be on the Masked Singer.
My Girl 1 is not going to be on The Masked Singer. Do not tweet these out.
Oh, man. This is a wild time. Keith, why didn't you tell us you were going to be on the Masked Singer?
I'm not going to be on The Masked Singer.
All right, Ryan,
Maybe.
stay put. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to find out who's underneath Keith's mask right now after break, okay?
There's
Guys,
no
don't
mask.
go anywhere. The Masked Singer Sports Podcast will be back
Do not
after this.
retweet that out. Nobody that's watching right now retweet that I'm going to
But
be
make
on The Masked
sure
Singer.
to shave your balls.
Fan
Sports
con-
with a Z.
fan control Masked
SPORTZ.
If you're
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped, and use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, Manscaped. Welcome back to the We Like Sports podcast with next season's Masked Singer.
You can't give it away.
Participant. They didn't let me get participant in. You're a participant? I can't even say that. No. I'm sorry. Fox, I am so sorry. Dude, I just ruined everything.
You did.
That NDA went right out the window.
There goes my deal.
Man, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I didn't want to.
All right, it's all right, man. I'll make a call. It'll be fine.
Thank you.
All right.
You're definitely going to be on there next year.
What other shows?
Shit.
What other shows do you want to sing on?
What other shows do I want to sing on?
Yeah, aren't you
What
like a
kind of
singer?
dumb question is that? What?
Oh, American Idol. There you
I
go.
would go for American Idol. I would do American
Is Ryan
Idol.
Seacrest still on American Idol?
Was Ryan Seacrest still alive?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe so.
I didn't know that.
I think he's hosting, I wouldn't know, but...
Doesn't he host some Rockin' Eve thing?
Yeah. What Dick Clark used to host.
That's right.
It's Dick Clark's Ryan Eve.
Ryan Eve.
Dick Clark's New Year's Eve special with Ryan Seacrest, I think is still the name.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Well,
you
you
kind of
still
just
gotta
have to
write
put Ryan Seacrest's name in there, but the whole shebang's about Dick Clark, even though he's not around anymore.
Where is he?
Oh, he did. He real did.
Oh, he dead.
He done died.
All right, are we talking about...
I'm pretty sure that he was already dead when he did the past probably 5 years prior to his death. He was probably already dead. There's like a puppet. Just kind of put him up there.
Well, we just got breaking news from the We Like Sports podcast Twitter. There's a tweet out there that says to keep an ear out for Keith's voice.
Good.
He might be on The Masked Singer, or maybe he's the next American Idol. Keith, are you like in the movie Step Brothers when you're singing with your family and you're just kind of paying for singing lessons?
When I sing, it has to come from the heart, the soul. I've been practicing this for years. I've been practicing to be a singer.
Like a mixture of an angel and Fergie.
I had a baby, and then I came out, and that's my song, yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
Yep.
what were we talking about? Fan-controlled football?
Does it matter anymore?
Speaking of fan-controlled football, it oddly segues to Masked Singer, which, by the way, tonight is the finale, I think? Mm-hmm. Weird. How do you know that ahead of time? I'm a sports guy, and you know that it's the Masked Singer's finale tonight?
I do know it's the Masked Singer's finale, but if I tell you...
Who's winning? I'm going to say the turtle. I don't even know if there is a turtle.
Season.
Oh.
Go. Sorry.
My DVR's behind.
Yeah.
So you were gonna say something about the Masked Singer? And
yeah. I'm not any of the I'm not gonna be on it. I'm just
such a bullshitter, man. Oh man. Anyways, sports, I guess.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe.
All right, guys. So, what are your thoughts on the fact that Stephen R. Smith is still not with us?
I don't believe Stephen R. Smith exists to begin with. So, we're gonna talk about something.
Maybe he's on the Masked Singer.
He's not on the Masked Singer. None of us are on the Masked Singer.
Could you imagine if Stephen R. Smith at Stephen R. Smith 15 is on the Masked Singer? With his words, imagine him singing.
Yeah.
That would be an abrupt abruptly.
I think we should put Payton Hillis.
Okay.
Or Matt Tift on the Masked Singer.
On the Masked Singer.
Yeah, I don't
mind. Matt has a new show idea, the Masked Singer.
I'm going to go with Hillis on that one because that would be spectacular.
That would only be country songs,
the thing
though.
is, well, yeah, but I mean, he can sing.
I feel like he'd sing Achy Breaky Heart. I don't know why.
I don't think he would sing that, but I think it would be funny.
Like, what if he just has, like, the one and done kind of thing? Like, the pants
like
on the
career?
ground guy?
Sorry.
Anyways, back to the Browns talk.
Yeah, Browns talk.
So, according to Adam Schefter, Tom Brady wants to add Odell Beckham Jr. to the Bucs.
Oh, they already went against that already, though.
They
he said
did,
that.
but
They
Tom
said
Brady,
that he said he wanted it, but he said that the Tampa was. It started getting put out, and McAfee was another one that put it out there too. And then Schefter sent him a tweet and was like, I ain't say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, the thing is that, like, Schefter worded it in a difficult way, though.
It was a difficult way, but it said that it was something about being talked about, or Just it was just like a floater, like put it out there, and then everybody took it like Tom Brady wants him.
And that's the way I got it though too. And like I guess overall with like the question with if that were to happen, because I mean it's the NFL, you always end up having your cards close to your chest and you don't know what's really going to happen.
But they tagged Godwin, so it doesn't make sense.
But
so that money that they could do it, they won't.
If this happened on Monday before all the franchise tags went through, who would you want if you ended up trading Odell Beckham Jr. to the Buccaneers? Who would you want in return from the Buccaneers? That's kind of what I was like thinking. What if?
I hate what if questions.
Well, the problem is because the Tampa Bay's defense is pretty young, so they've got a lot of guys that are on. Other than David, which I'm fully intrigued with him in free agency, and the Browns should really go hard after him. So if there was a trade for that, like I'd want him, but they're not giving up. That defense is pretty young, so even in that trade, you ain't getting none of their studs.
Yeah, and like honestly, right away when I kind of thought that, I'm like, I'm gonna end up thinking like maybe Gronk, for example, but Gronk's not going anywhere from Florida.
Nope, he ain't leaving Brady.
But like, and then the Browns don't even need a tight end anyways because they already have 3 of them if they don't trade Njoku.
Got 3 of them, and they re-signed, tendered Carlson, so there's 4.
Yeah, it's just again Cleveland being kind of the melting pot of media because you end up having all this drama and whatnot because people read into the fact, my source was literally like when I heard about it was FanSided, and FanSided pretty much said Tom Brady gets what he wants.
In the chats, your guy said, I'm not trading Odell if he is active. Last year during the playoffs, I think you beat Kansas City. I don't agree with that.
Well, again, it goes back to like kind of like the Gordon thing because he got hurt so early. Yeah, he did do this, but who's to say that they didn't adjust to it and adjust other things?
No, they
and to
did.
have a
That's
guy
what I
that
mean.
can
I
go
don't
over.
agree. We don't need Beckham. Like we do not need Odell Beckham Jr. Period. We don't need him. If you look at like he was, and I'm not saying it's because he's a bad player. There was too much pressure on Mayfield to get him the ball when he got injured. I mean, we all watched the same season I did, right?
But that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, because at that point in time he was doing that, so he made that adjustment. So who's to say now that he's made that adjustment and he's gotten better at going through his progressions, he's not forcing the ball anymore. Right. So this coming year, because they've all had, they're going to have a full camp. One, they're going to have a full off season they've already started to click at the end of Stefanski's. Obviously, I mean, we got to the second round of the playoffs. Like we were that now we have a full man in-person off-season camp and everything to go with this. What we already did. Now it should be the next step in that system. And now, I don't know. It's you always want weapons, and if you can afford it, and we can get what we need off free agency, hey, an abundance of riches is the way that I look at it. As long as he can play like he did at the end of the year with him.
I mean, the thing with like the Browns too, and like I guess as a Browns fan, again, you don't have to worry about the draft, but like you have the good news.
Well, no, it's not that we have to worry about it. We got to worry about it.
No, but like you're not doing mock drafts.
We got to
in
hit those picks. Yeah, we got to hit those picks because they're in the background.
But you're like, what picks do we need?
Oh, our defense needs.
Well, yeah,
you're not going to get those You're not going to get those for picks. You're not going to build your defense on picks.
Well, no, that's not necessarily yes. Because the second guy, when I was talking about Tampa, the guy that's right next to him that was causing havoc the entire year, second-year player. You know what I mean? That guy, that kid's from LSU. He went to school with the middle linebacker we drafted.
Yeah,
he was
Jacob
the one ahead
Phillips.
of him. Yeah, and he destroyed. So yeah, I mean, if you hit, but you got to hit, and again, he's a stud.
But it depends how much Browns fans end up trusting Andrew Berry. Because after last year, I mean, you hit on 5 out of 7 of your picks. You can't really get any better. And one of those picks were a
that's
sixth
my point.
rounder.
Like I said, you just got like I'm not worried. It's not that I'm worried about the pick. I have faith in the picks that he's going to make, obviously. But I'm saying for the reasons of again, because our defense, there's a lot of depth and plug-in that we have to do. like you got to land, because at the back end of the draft, again, you're not picking number 1, number 2, number 3, where a lot of these guys come from. You got to be real. Like I put the Ravens into that one, or the Steelers. Like they find these stud defensive players in the back end and the early end of the second, the third and the back end of the first. You got a nail there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Looking ahead, though, with pretty much the good problem they have, you don't have to worry about the draft, but like you have your head coach returning, you have all your coordinators for now returning, you have Kevin Stefanski next year. Hopefully everything's 99% normal, and you end up having him say what he's been saying that he wants to do, is have that one-on-one. I'm going to game plan for your specific game. I'm going to game plan for you as a streaky wide receiver. I'm going to game plan for you as this type of running back. I'm going to fit to your strengths, and that's what you need to do. And all this was on Zoom this past year.
Right. That's what I said, because that's when I think, again, when they started pretty much right at that point where they got the rest by the break, by their off week. That's when, that 2 games prior to that's when things started to click. And then after that off week, they flew. So again, like I'm Stefanski, again, he's just, I'm believing in this system. I think Baker's the one for this system. And if he's figured out how to go through his progressions and read everything, which I've seen it, I believe he was in the top 5 of quarterbacks from week 7 all the way to the end. So
yeah, again, he only threw, I think, 1 interception outside of that playoff game too, and that's again
2 picks, 1 pick regular season from that point.
And
like you can't, so you're gonna give him another year like that, keep your line together. But that's the thing I was talking about crazy with, like the salary cap. Like Zeitler, the guy that our guard, all-pro guard that we gave away to get Beckham, they cut him today. They cut him today. And that guy is a stud. And that's what I'm saying. It's crazy about this year. There's going to be a lot of teams. I mean, it's already started. A lot of teams are going to be letting a lot of guys go just because of their cap number.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even with like the cap, like the key cuts that nobody got like franchise tag and they're now out of a contract.
Right.
One of them was the Steelers' Bud Dupree. He's a free agent. You got the Packers running back Aaron Jones, Kenny Galladay, Shaq Barrett, which is a defensive end for the Bucks. You got Carl Lawson from the Bengals. You have a quarterback, William Jackson from the Bengals. Ravens, you have Yannick Ngakoue. I know how to say his name, but I can't pronounce it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's again a star.
Yeah, he was a big, tall dude, and he's probably on the line at like 6'6", 350.
He led the league in sacks when he played Jacksonville that 1 year.
Yeah, and then you also have the Ravens defensive end Matt Judon too. All those are guys that are free agents now when it comes to the NFL. And that's
it blew my mind when the Lions let Galladay walk. Like I don't understand that move at all. How are you going to let him go? And then Marvin Jones too. So your top 2 guys that you just got Goff. I mean, you downgraded from Stafford, 1. And then you let your top 2 wide receivers walk away. Galladay's going to be probably special.
Right. He always has been, really.
And you're letting him walk? Oh, I'm like, oh, dude, what are you doing, man? Not a way to start off, Dan Campbell. Well, maybe you know something more than I do. But old Motor City Dan better get it.
It's the NFL is going to be completely different when you end up having. Maybe the Lions are just looking at a rebuild at this point because you have Jared Goff.
Lions have been rebuilding about as long as we have.
Right, and their biggest highlight of the seasons usually are the Thanksgiving games.
And we were the opposite. We couldn't put it together. They had a quarterback. An all-pro, pro ball out throw for 5,000 yards quarterback for years, and they couldn't put it together. And that was the only thing we've been missing for 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. 20-plus years, and you finally have it in Baker Mayfield. And the other plus
and you still got these drunk people talking about trading him.
Yeah, the whole entire situation with like Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's learning. He's going to be dangerous, no pun intended, with his thing. But you're going to have him learn a playbook and master what he learned from this past year. He's not having a new playbook that he has to study. This is the same shit from this past year. It's just like studying for a test you already passed, but you could do instead of a 90%,
now you're just adding.
I could do 100%.
Everything now is just adding.
Right.
It's just adding different wrinkles now. That's all you do. Every year, add a different wrinkle, add a different wrinkle, add a different wrinkle. And depending on who you get in the draft, who you get in free agency, also opens up playbook options for a bunch of other things. But again, we got two of the best, if not the best, tandem in the NFL. We got 4 pretty much stud tight ends. Our line full of studs. They re-signed Hance. They brought him back. Then nobody know who he was when he was in the playoff game, but they were like, "Hey," but he held it up. So he got a 2-year contract because of what he did when he came in from the practice squad. No one knew who he was. Now I got a 2-year deal. Sit and be a backup.
Also, too, another thing.
We're running 10 deep on the offensive line as of right now.
Yeah, and then eventually you're going to end up having to make your cuts, but that's not something to worry about right now in April.
I still guarantee there'll be 7. There'll be at least 7 to 8.
I think that's a safe amount for your line, but with all the other cuts too, and then we'll end up changing gear and talking a little bit of baseball, and then also March Madness, because apparently Stephen R. Smith not only lost his belt, but I don't think he's gonna make the show. I think he's running indubitably late or something ridiculous. I don't even know what that means, but I think he just tweeted it out. I'm not sure. But
I'm not sure. That means no.
But with the Cowboys signing Dak Prescott now for 4 years, this is leaving them in a situation when they have to figure out what to do with Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper. This is something.
Yeah, yes and no.
Well, I mean, Amari Cooper, I think you could let him walk easily, but Ezekiel Elliott, I think you need at running back. I think that's.
Yeah, oh no, because I think for what the system that Kellen Moore wants to run. I mean, would I get rid of Zeke? Hell no. I'm going to try to work that shit out because, again, he came in the league. He's still a beast. But the problem is the offense now that Kellen Moore is running, it's fit for Pollard. Because at the end of the year, he was playing a lot more, and that kid was tearing it up.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the bigger problem with that, too, with a lot of Cowboys fans would just be the fact that you had that long-term success with Ezekiel Elliott, and he seems like a guy that would be committed to the city, but at the same time, if you're not going to start, why are you going to play with that organization?
Oh, well, it's Jerry's world, though, so it's all on the whim of what he decides and what he thinks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going to matter either way. Their defense needs a lot of help because no matter how, I mean, Dak had record-breaking numbers at the time on progress for it, but he got hurt. But even before he got hurt, I mean, their defense was so bad that they couldn't stop anything. Can't stop a bloody nose. He could put up all the points that he wants to in the world, but if people are keeping up, it's only going to be 1 or 2 touchdowns that are just run the clock because they can't stop you. So you're done. So, I mean, but as far as salary cap goes, I mean, the cap's not going to be a problem eventually. Like, again, we're talking this year, it's this. But by like 4 years, they're talking it being like $250 million.
That's going to be the new cap is $250 million?
From 5 years. They're predicting in 5 years, $250 million.
That's so complicated when you break it down that way because after you cut it, obviously inflation happens and we're living in a normal world, but...
Well, that's why they always kick the can down the road. They start it at the one end and they keep it cheap on the front and they put it at the back because the cap always goes up. So if they roll money over plus the cap... they've got more money to spend as long as that's why they always want to sign for the long term. Sign them long term, they can kick it down the road farther.
And that's why they always end up unloading these contracts if they can.
And that's when they'll start cutting them down the line because they're dead cap. That's where that's the whole problem with Ben. That's why his dead cap space was $42 million because they kicked that shit so far down the road and they were like, we got to restructure, dude.
Cameron says Cowboys don't really have too much of a choice signing Dak. However, it still puts them in a corner with signing guys to the defense and keeping their other current weapons.
I mean,
that's where it comes to the draft. You got to land that draft and use the money where you can.
But you have to.
But even if so, put it this way: even if they got, so let's say they traded Zeke, they trade Zeke this year or they trade him next year, they still have dead money on him for the next 2 years. So I mean, regardless of what they're getting rid of. It just depends on when they get rid of him, how they get rid of him, who they're going to, if they cut him, and how much money does it actually save them in the end.
I mean, when we're talking about contracts and stuff, like the thing I don't get, and I think this is kind of geared more so towards like a baseball aspect, but when you have these, like let's say we use Shane Bieber and Jose Ramirez, for example, these guys that deserve long-term extensions already, if I'm playing a video game after they have 1 to 2 solid years, I'm going to try extending them. Is that like kind of, is that just kind of being a courteous way of like, okay, I'm going to let you sit on this rookie contract because I don't think you could handle this money as an adult? Or what's
most of the time, anything like that, especially in the NFL, it's financial. Everything has to do with financial and making the cap work. So it's beneficial to the team, especially if you have a guy like, Baker Mayfield, or you've got a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. that comes off of there, and you keep him on that rookie deal because he keeps them low, and they're still playing for that big contract, and it helps the team.
Yeah, but so you're talking about baseball, right? Like, it's like because baseball is totally different. That's
what I mean. It's like a totally different premise. That's kind of what I was getting at. With like, it's like this is this, but like we talked about before, is the whole the floor and the cap. There is nothing. It's the Wild West in baseball. You got money, spend it.
It's just irritating because, like, thinking now with, like, the Browns, obviously this is the mindset, this is the thoughts of an Indians fan. You want to extend Jose Ramirez because even if you had, like, a good-ish spring, this is something that should have been done 2 years ago and he hit 40 home runs almost. That's what you had to do. Shane Bieber literally just won the Cy Young. You're not extending him now? Is it a courteous thing? Because right now, the man's going to get paid like Francisco Lindor. You landed on him too late. You knew his worth early on for being marketable, from being, I'm going to hold off because how many agents are there saying, don't take that contract you first get because you're going to get something better, you're going to prove yourself. And how much of that is impacting like the owners and the agents? It's just all
the agents are impacted anyway because the agents, they want the bigger contract because that gets them a bigger piece of the pie. So they're always on a twofold. But I mean, as far as baseball contracts, old Keith over there could explain a lot of that more better. Mo better.
I mean, it's just, you're right. He's right. Like it's you have to. The Dolans aren't going to spend money on anybody. Doesn't matter. So if you're talking like them, why wouldn't we do it? A normal owner would. They would. But in baseball, it doesn't matter. Right. Like you don't need to sign them right away. You can keep it because you got to remember arbitration is a thing. Some rookies can't even take I don't even think you can take a contract as a rookie if they offer to extend it to you. You know what I mean?
Oh really? I mean,
I'm almost
there's a lot of intricacies that go along with baseball contracts compared to anything else. Like again, like they have to worry about the cap in the NFL. So they're worrying about the cap, but they have this number, they get this number, they roll money over. So if you can roll money over, there's more money for you to spend. Like, the Browns, they rolled over $30 million. So the cap's 182.5, I think is what it is. But we are at 212 because we rolled that money over from the previous year.
So if
you do it right, you can keep rolling that money over and have a bigger salary cap, and that's that sweet spot you want to stay in.
Okay, that makes sense though. So it just kind of rolls over. It's not like you
don't lose it. Like it doesn't start. If you've got the money, they'll fix. Basically, they prorate it. The dumb term of it. They'll prorate all the teams.
So this is why they don't give rookies contracts, because the first 3 to 4 years of a rookie's contract, he's pre-arb, which means he's pre-arbitration. The team decides what his salary is, and it's usually very close or just over
what he's actually
minimum.
Worth.
No, what the league minimum is. Dude, none of these.
But arbitration is when you end up having, okay, I think you're worth, like obviously not thinking and talking out loud, but like I think you're worth 50,000,
right?
But you think you're worth 55,000, and then you find that middle ground or whatever.
You don't. MLB does.
Yeah, but when you have your number and I have mine though, right? When
right, but then the MLB, but then the MLB decides. So they can either side with you or they can side with the owner. But the MLB will then decide how much you're worth. That's why it's dangerous. That's why
which again is also
dangerous.
With that point too is like with the NFL. So like first round draft picks. First round draft picks are already 4 years, and then there's a 5th-year team option. That 4 years, so they're going through the whole thing. But if you look at once it gets to that 5th-year option, so you'll have a team that goes, all right, let's just say, Denzel Ward. Ward went to the Pro Bowl 1 year. So he was a Pro Bowl player. So if you look at his 5th-year option, his money goes up because he was a Pro Bowler. So Baker, because he wasn't in the Pro Bowl, his 5th-year option is 18.3. But if he had a Pro Bowl under his belt, they'd have upped it to almost like, I think it was like 21 or 22 mil. So there's scales on that 5th year's option too of how much the team will actually pay. I think there's like 5 or 6 slots within that 5th year option.
Yeah. Well,
as far as that's about the only rule that comes along with any of that shit. There ain't none of that with baseball, like what they do with baseball.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break here on the We Like Sports podcast. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll probably end up talking more baseball and a bunch of dudes just nerding out over baseball apparently right now, which is cool and I'm perfectly fine with. Maybe we'll just mention briefly the fact that Cleveland State's in March Madness and they won the Horizon League Championship.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a cool experience too. I'm excited to see Cleveland State. And also, maybe we'll dive a little bit in further with March Madness, but who knows? We'll come back after this break. Don't go anywhere. Shave your balls, though, during this break. And make sure to use the promo code SPORTS with a Z, SPORTZ.
If you're
Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. So a little side note, have you ever cut your balls while shaving them? I have, and that is painful. I would not ever do that again, and I would never shave my balls if it wasn't for Manscaped, because once I started using Manscaped, I no longer had to worry about the bleeding anymore. Also, for any new subscribers, you end up getting replacement blades refilled for your Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months, making sure your trimmer always stays fresh and clean. And for a limited time, subscribers get not only 1, but 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, which is a $39 value, and the high-patented, high-performance, anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. This is the perfect package for your perfect package. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SPORTSWITHAZ at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped. And use the code SPORTS. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thanks, man.
Welcome back to everybody's high on. All right, no, I'm just kidding. Welcome back to We Like Sports. Are you okay?
My beard is just so like luscious and
Okay,
long.
that's your. Are you dropping ecstasy?
Luscious.
No, I'm not. I just have to plug in our sponsor for today, Cisco the Barber. Hit him up, 440-320-2691. Again, it's 440-320-2691. Get that lineup because I'm wearing a hat recently just because I'm not happy with my hair. My hair's long, but it's also receding at the same time. But anyways, I know I have a problem and I don't want to part ways with it yet. That's why I went with the facial hair idea a while back when I lost a bet. But anyway, Cisco the Barber, I'm going to be hitting him up about next week to get my hair cut.
About next week?
Yeah, get my hair cut. Get my beard lined up because it's getting long and bushy and by my ears and whatnot, and I can't manscape it off. So I'm going to end up going to him, get a little bit tapered up, look better.
Tapered up.
Yeah, I think that's a barber term. I like it.
Getting your ears lowered?
No, not my ears lower, just my face a little bit once I get this hair cut off. But anyways, 440-320-2691, 440-320-2691, Cisco Da Barber on Instagram.
Cisco Da Barber?
Duh, D-A.
So it's Cisco Da
Barber. Yep.
All right.
Got to get your hair cut, man. It's that time of year, too. The weather's turning. It's about time. But anyways, as we come back, we were...
such a long commercial. But go ahead. I'm sorry. That was just super long.
As we come back, though, we were talking about the baseball salary cap, and you were diving into the whole entire rookie thing. I don't think you ever finished your point with the whole entire contract situation in baseball.
I can't remember. I'm just saying.
I was going to say, you might want to just throw that one out.
So what were we refresh it. What were we trying to figure out?
Rookie contracts.
Right.
How they are in baseball and how your arbitration. And
you were talking about offering them a contract.
Yeah.
There's literally zero reason to do that. The team has so much control over you as a rookie that it doesn't matter. They can literally wait to the end of whatever of your rookie contract pre-arb before they even have to do anything because they don't even have to pay him a lot. You know what I mean? They make this out. They, as bad as it sounds, they own you.
But that's the thing too. Like being an athlete, you have so much going on because like even as a college athlete, I feel like if I was a college athlete, I would want to get paid. Like if I'm good enough and I'm a top 10 player in college.
That's crazy different though.
But you're still not getting paid no matter what. Like
no, you're not.
I feel like this is the part when you're gonna have to pretty much. I don't know which wording to use. Like segregate from like the athlete to the money because if you're a top 10 player, it's not you're of whatever and you're not good enough. It's just. These 10 are the best, and they deserve to get paid. They deserve at least like contracts.
Here's the thing with that though. I mean, like, what if the NCAA would just pull the stick out of their ass and let these kids that are that good get sponsors? Let them get Nike sponsorships. Let them get Adidas. Let them make money on the side of what they're doing. If they're good enough to be sponsored, let them do it.
Right.
So that's the perfect thing. The college doesn't want to pay them. They don't want to pay them. Well, then let them get paid. But there's also a lot of other things that go along with it about medical and things like that and the horror stories that have happened to kids that had careers ended and just got nothing for it and then they didn't even get to finish school and shit. A lot of universities still do that and they will honor their scholarship because they're not dirtbags, but there's a lot of times they are.
It's just like looking back at it too, like I didn't go through like the legitimate college experience, which is fine. And like either way, like not like I would have had like the athletic background enough to be probably a college athlete even. I think I probably ended up best performance-wise in baseball was probably high school. So from that aspect, it's like I would be curious to find out how this would all end up making sense and like what their thoughts are. And I'd probably have to end up bringing in a college athlete as a guest just because.
Well, most of them, there's documentaries out there that talk about it and things like that. I mean, Northwestern tried to unionize about 5-6 years ago or so. I mean, the number gets away from me when it was, but it's been in recent time that they tried to unionize to get paid and things like that because I can't remember the kid. He was the quarterback at the time for Northwestern, and he got a union to agree to bring them in and everything, but the NCAA squashed it. Yeah. So a lot of players are they're on the same same board. I mean, because they can't work, they can't do anything.
Right. Like you have no choice because it's just like how you end up having some athletes get like in the movies at least I don't know if this is real life, but okay, I'm gonna end up giving you A because you're my A+ athlete in basketball.
Oh, dude, that happens in high school.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
you're talking about something that's been.
It still happens right now. It's just hush hush. Nobody hears about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But they get caught all the time. Miami's a good Florida, the Hurricanes. That's a good example of that whole documentary that I think it was the E60 one where they talked about all the money and things that were coming from the boosters and things like that to the football program and all that stuff. Like it's a weird world. And there's, like I said, there's a bunch of literature and documentaries on it about, money, how it flows in, the amount of money the NCAA makes, and they make all the rules, but yet they're governing over top of all these places. Like it's just not right. And that they're a ruling party in something that they should have no say in whatsoever.
Cameron says, totally agree. Let athletes get their own sponsors. It would allow smaller school athletes to give themselves an incentive since they wouldn't necessarily be on national television and get the big-time exposure. Brands are always looking for a new face. That's actually a pretty good solve.
That's exactly it. And that's, again, it's a sweet spot in the middle. Fine. If you do not want to pay them or you don't want to do this, then fine. Let them be able to seek out their own things because they're going to be, even at the low end, if you got a mid-tier guy or a low-tier guy or somebody that walked out, whatever, if you're on a big enough football team, there is a damn car dealer. There is a sports store, anything that, even if it's just a little bit of money, is better than nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like a prime example is like for like a school like Northern Kentucky or something that probably isn't that big of a school. It's just in this area of a state, Northern Kentucky, but you end up having them have a sponsorship deal or whatever. I'm sure even though it's a small school, they still focus on that, and okay, this is probably the face of the town.
Sure.
So I'm going to end up having the face of the town be at my car dealership for an autograph signing or something.
Right.
And,
well, that's why you always see people that sit there.
You get this portion of it.
Right.
Like, okay, so like on that side of it, like, okay, so, but that's why like everybody calls, I mean, there are people that are familiar with it, but obviously some people aren't, and they see all these tune-up games. They call them tune-up games. They might be tune-up games, but they are also a financial incentive for these smaller schools. They get paid the most for going to Ohio State, for going to Oregon, for going to a D1 powerhouse and playing them in the beginning of the year because it brings in extra revenue of, I can't remember the number, but it's in the six figures that they're going to get just by playing that game.
Yeah.
Like, it just sucks to be a college athlete. Like, I can imagine, like, look back at the minor league players and, like, with the MLB last year, you didn't really get paid for that long-term period of being shut down.
Right.
And then after the shutdown, you were pretty much still out of a job because all you were doing is hanging out at this training facility at times, probably not getting paid because you're not playing.
Right.
And you have these minor league players pretty much going backwards, too,
Well,
to
that's
college.
the thing that I was going to say. I think of all the professional athletes, at least the ones that are striving to be professional athletes, you'd think because of the way you look at it and like, oh, my God, this kid got drafted at the age of 16. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Oh, my God, that's awesome. That's great. Incredible. Yeah, on paper, that's good. But now that team owns your rights from the time that you're 16, if you take it, till they decide what they're going to do with you.
Well, I mean, I even know this one guy, too.
Now,
that
football,
actually,
you go to college, or even basketball, you got to go to college for 1 year, or they have different outlets now where you can go to Europe, you can go here, and you can still get paid, all these other things. Yeah, football's a little farther, but again, it's a violent sport. You got to take in what you're going to take in, and obviously it's their cash cow, so they do definitely want to have the best there for at least 2 years. But baseball, I mean, these kids are coming straight out of high school, and they're already developing all that, and they got no options.
I mean,
you go to Japan, Korea.
Right, but usually whenever it comes to, like, your, like, international, like, players that you're signing, always, like, the Japanese ones and your Chinese baseball athletes, you're having them end up signing or at least coming over to the MLB older. Like, look at Jose Abreu. He ended up coming over at, like, 28, when, meanwhile, you had probably an opportunity at 18, but it's like they're a lot more experienced than these other
But he was
leagues.
getting paid top dollar over there during that time, and then came and got paid more. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, he's making money through this whole time because he is that type of athlete that can go somewhere else and dominate and garner that money. But now he's banking all that money. Now he's like, all right, now I'm good enough. Now I think I'm to the point now where I can compete with the best. Now I'm going there. And they go there and he gets paid. So, I mean, there's other avenues. And the sad part about all this, if you love college football and stuff like that, a lot of stuff like this is going to start going off the wayside because now there are going to be other avenues that they're going to be taking because there's money involved and everything else. The NBA is already doing it. NBA they have their G League. They've got their smaller league that they're creating, and I think it's the top 30 guys that they're putting in it, and they're all chosen to be in this league at 18 instead of going to college.
Yeah, I heard of that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like they're already starting to put things in play that you can do this instead. Because the NCAA with football, they borrow a lot of shit, and same thing with basketball. They hammer down a lot of things to make it to where we already made an agreement with them. We can't do that.
Like even with football, you're like you were saying with basketball, that's something that's been going.
There's nothing
on.
else that compares to football. That's the problem because there is one. It's the NFL.
Right.
The CFL doesn't compare. They tried it with the XFL. They tried the American football. It just doesn't compare. At least when it comes to Europe and basketball, there's comparison. Like you can go there and you can get out of it and make a career out of it. There's nowhere you can go in football other than college.
Well, I mean, I think that like with like college, like it would be like college. Then if you go to the XFL, maybe you have a chance to be on a practice squad, but you might not be guaranteed success.
Yeah, but again, you're jumping from there and then you go to the XFL again. But these guys, I mean, part of them are that were in college, stuff like that. But the problem is in college, those guys that are there are the ones that are going to be running around those dudes. So you've got the top. Basically, you're looking at the guys that you're going to be going to the league with if you're that good. There, you've got a bunch of wash-ups and some that maybe got older, got out of it, something happened to them, and that was their opportunity to get through. But as far as the lock that the NCAA has on college football and with pros and that basically farm system that runs out of there, that was the one that's not going to be changed, and it will not change.
What if the college football athletes end up going in the direction of, okay, for example, Ohio State had Nick Bosa sit out the 1 year because he played one game and then was preparing for the NFL draft. How much longer until these kids that are freshmen, that are well-known freshmen, end up sitting out that freshman year, and then they have the eligibility.
Well, the problem though, that's the thing. They'll do that a lot. They put the red shirt on a guy if they've got the depth at quarterback. I mean, look at what we got now. So Haskins left the year prior. Then we had Fields. Fields is going into he's going in the draft now. We picked up 3 recruits. One of them being the number 2 pro style quarterback, and then got another one in the same class. So they already pulled up 3. So those guys all redshirted. So they've already been there for a year. So, I mean, they're already doing that. They're already pushing one back, hitting them with the red shirt so they can gain their years of eligibility so they still have those 4 years. And there's white shirts, blue shirts. There's all kinds of shit where they hold them back, and then they just wait till their turn. That's why you didn't see Joe Burrow go all the way to LSU, because he just didn't get his time here, went there and shined.
Right, but then on the flip side, you have somebody like Joe Burrow succeed, and then you have somebody like Tate Martell that would have
just
gone somewhere and he just shit the bed.
Oh yeah, shit the bed. And I think he's looking to go somewhere else now too. Like he just never was. He just wasn't that guy. In high school, he was great. Got in college, no, he's just not good in college. Just like Archie Griffin. Archie Griffin was great. Ohio State. But when he got to the pros,
holding back an athlete though, like you have a red shirt freshman and then like all your other like undershirt colors or whatever you want to call them, but then you end up having somebody like Brandon Whedon. How does that college experience end up happening when he's starting college at 26, 27?
A lot of these punters are that way, coming over from Australia and shit. Those guys are grown men. But they're getting their eligibility coming in here and punting the ball. That's why you're seeing all these Aussie-style kickers end up in the league now, and they're 32 years old.
I guess that makes sense. I never really even realized it that way. As
long as you haven't used eligibility. I mean, right now, for some reason, the lightning hit Keith, and he turned into this, like, just massive, just everything. Good at baseball. Good at baseball. Good at baseball. They just all you gotta do is walk in there, huh?
I don't know how to take that.
I'm saying that as right now we are in our 30s. They're not scouting 30-year-olds.
That's a fact.
Maybe one, but you got struck by lightning and drank the juice, and now you're ready to go. And they see it and they're like, "Oh shit, we got something here." And if he didn't have any college experience and the college was looking at him and he was eligible, he could go and walk onto a team and go to school. As long as he was a student at that college, you can play. You'd be 50 years old and do it if you're good enough.
So, like, those movies could really happen. Like, the rookie.
Yeah, that's real. It's a real thing.
That blows my mind. Like,
It's all eligibility, college eligibility. If you're good enough, you can walk on that team.
All right. We gotta talk baseball for a little bit because I know Keith's very upset.
Why?
Because we didn't talk baseball.
I think he's doing just fine.
All right.
So,
Trust me, I think he's fine. He's perfectly content with his
I'm practicing.
diet Coke.
I'm harnessing myself. I'm for the mass.
yeah, we haven't talked in a while. Are you gonna end up singing
He's
I don't wanna
relaxing
ruin my
his
voice box.
vocal cords.
voice exercises and whatnot?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing exercises.
No, I am not you.
All right. But anyways, with the MLB, right now you have
Not doing Lamaze, man. We're just sitting there and breathing.
Right now, though, you have first base. It's looking with like the Cleveland Indians that you have Josh Naylor might be an outfielder at this point. That's what they might end up the Indians looking at him as. Then you have Bobby Bradley at first or Jake Bowers. Or else you could have Josh Naylor. So you have three people probably competing to be the first baseman, but more than likely two in reality because you have Josh Naylor out in the outfield still.
Yeah, he'll be there on random days, like just for breaks or whatever. If he happens to be out there, like then he'll play. But most of the time, I'm picturing him in the outfield.
And like, then who do you put at first base? Who are you more comfortable with, Bobby Bradley or Jake Bowers? I'd rather have Bobby Bradley.
Bobby Bradley for his bat.
But Bobby Bradley, I've always been on the train of Bobby Bradley since pretty much like AAA, that 30 home run season that happened by the time July happened.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I haven't, because of the fact, I mean, he wasn't in the majors long.
Right, but when he was, though,
I've never seen him play, so I don't even know how he is with his glove. So I don't know. Like, we know what his bat does.
Right, and it's
guy's got a just stud fire.
It's the thing with me on Bobby Bradley is he never had enough time in the major leagues when he came up in 2019 because he played about 14 games, hit 2 home runs, and then after that he got sent down, and I was pissed
they put him
off
back
because
that's what I mean. Like, that's why I said when we were talking before, I was like, the guy I really want to see is him. Because he came up for a little bit, boom, and then we didn't see him anymore.
He never
He's
got his
lighting up the minors.
opportunity again, and you already had Carlos Santana. Like, you have a powerhouse within your own system that you developed on your own, which Indians aren't like.
I'd start him. I mean, if he plays well in spring training and everything, and he's on the roster, I'd start him.
Yeah,
I'd start him there. Because what do you do? Okay, his glove's not good and everything like that. We got to work some shit out.
Because you can't put Franmil Reyes at first base either. You could, like, unless if you end up teaching him first base, he's pretty much a DH. He's not an outfielder. He's too big.
He's our DH. So the only time you're going to see him out there is if we are fully in need, and there's a lot of guys that need rest.
Right.
I mean,
or later in the game, like when there's a pinch runner or some shit like that.
Like, Bobby Bradley deserves the spot just because he never had that opportunity. And it's the same shit that the Indians were doing with Daniel Johnson last year or 2019 or whatever when they brought him up for about a week. And I think it was last year too.
And he was the one that said something about it too.
Yeah.
He was pissed off. He wasn't happy about it.
Because, I mean, you're a rookie and you get the opportunity. And then, I mean, that's why you end up sending somebody like Eddie Rosario. And it's kind of a slap in the face because, all right, I'm a right fielder. Where do I go now? Because he's blocking my path. You're in the way of my path, and you're trying to develop me as a player and make me better.
Right.
He could play
and then
center,
we trade
but he's
you.
not known as a center fielder.
He's not going to play center.
No, like...
Right, no, there's no way.
You have him that option, too, but that's about it. Like, Oscar Mercado to make it or break it year.
Yeah,
At least from the start, too.
But the thing is, he's been a work in progress. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he either has it or he doesn't.
Right.
And
Bradley Zimmer's pretty much out of the equation now.
And I liked Bradley Zimmer, too. I was a huge Bradley Zimmer fan.
He just
But
keeps
with
getting
Oscar
hurt.
Mercado, if he does not do something this year, he's not going to be with the Indians anymore.
You're looking at a minor league contract then afterwards almost.
You would have to. He's not going to. I mean, he's just not.
Well, look at all the guys that are getting signed now. You just look at them. They're like, oh, they brought this guy on a minor contract. Was that minor contract? Minor's contract.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And like that's look at Billy Hamilton, Ben Gamble. Billy Hamilton's 0 for 8 throughout his time with the Indians in spring training, and you have the option to cut him. Why don't you cut him now and try to sign somebody else that's hanging out right now at the house and has nothing left to do, but they still have it.
Right.
So why not give them the opportunity? And unless if you're just not able to do contracts during certain parts of the year, like that doesn't make sense. Like having Billy Hamilton go 0 for 16, why is he even playing still? You're not proving anything. You're 0 for 16. You were 8 for 56 last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter.
No, you're right.
Financially, like this show literally turned into like finances and baseball.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Like
I mean, again, but
salary
that's what we're working with right now. Everything has to do with salary caps and cutting this guy, signing this guy, spring training, like everything. Everything's revolving around the front office of every league right now, except for the NBA.
It's crazy.
Like, what's a more of a slap in the face as an athlete? If you were an athlete, is it a spring training contract or a 10-day contract for the NBA?
It depends on how you look at it, though. I mean, if you're not doing nothing,
yeah,
both of those are godsends. Like, oh, I'm about to get paid to do this. Okay.
I mean,
But
yeah,
if I'm a veteran player and I still got some legs,
yeah,
and I get that, yeah, I'm gonna feel a certain way about that shit.
Like, I feel like it would be like more so like the 10-day contract. If I'm trying to prove myself, I don't have enough time. I'd rather. Maybe it's just because I think like a baseball player, and that's all I've really played.
Hey,
so
you
like,
better hope that in practice you get some good swings. That's all I gotta say. You better make that 10 days work.
Yeah, exactly. If it was a 10-day contract,
Just
in
enough to get you
baseball,
to day 11.
I think I would rather have a 10-day,
yeah,
10-day
spring
contract,
training, yeah.
If I was an athlete, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, which would I prefer? Of course, I'm like, yeah, you want the extended period of time,
right?
or at least until that first red card comes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Well, on that note, we honestly ended up taking about an hour and a half talking about baseball and finances, probably, and it's about time to end the show. So, with that said, follow us on Twitter, Payton Vince, Keith Migra 1. That's it, because everybody else wasn't here. Ryan, what's your Twitter?
MC No Walk.
MC No Walk. I didn't want to mess it up because I messed it up last time. And then
Mick
also,
No Walk.
get the replay on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Also, tune in next week, Wednesday, 7:30 to 9:30. Check out next week, too, to find out if Keith Migra is on The Masked Singer or if it's Stephen R. Smith.
It's Stephen R. Smith.
Who
Goodbye,
knows?
everybody.
Good night, everybody.